Hey guys, starting to get some work done on my engine block here. Got the cam out, started pulling some of the pistons. Everything's looking good so far. Couple tips: when pull the cam out, you definitely have to take the oil pump off first so you can get that gear out of the way, or the cam won't come out. For anybody who hasn't done this before, like me, having fun with it. It's kind of cool just getting in here and checking everything out. It's actually in pretty good condition from what I can see. There's not any grooves or spun bearings. I didn't see any grooves in anything in the on the crank or anything else. So what I've got going on back here, I've got 6 of the pistons out so far, just keeping them in order in case for some reason anybody wants them, and then tagging and bagging all my bolts. So keep those fasteners nice and organized so I know where everything goes. But yeah, just gonna keep on plugging away here. Let me know what you guys think. Here's a little tip. So these caps on the end of the pistons, they are pretty tight. They won't just slide off. So I don't know if this is a big no-no or not, but basically using the back end of a mallet here, I can just tap these bolts just a little bit, and that makes it easy enough to pull these caps off. So something to give a try. And it looks like that bearing popped off. I'll just tap both of these and see if this bearing stays on. That bearing stayed on. So this other one spun around. It might have actually had a spun bearing, I don't know. I'm not sure how to tell other than just looking at the wear, but I didn't see a whole lot of metal shavings or anything in the oil. So you can see here, this one does not have the bearing on it. It's still on the crank, and this one does. You can see that lip right there. So they just pop in there. There's a little groove. So I'm not sure if it popped out while I was playing around with it and getting it loose, or if it was actually spun and stuck in there. I'm guessing if it was spun and stuck in there, it wouldn't have started when I first got it a couple weeks ago, and might have had some issues there. So I'm keeping all of these in order and putting the caps back on the same piston arm that it came off of. So just keeping everything together, even though I'm getting a completely new crank and new pistons and everything, and figure may as well keep everything orderly. Alright, we are now down to a bare block. Woohoo! Fun stuff. I think I'm gonna clean it up a little bit and you know, try to get some of the bearings out and any grime and stuff, and then give it a good coating in oil and bag it up until it's time to go to the machine shop. And yeah, excited about that. There's the crank. This is a cast crank because you can tell, since these have sharp edges, it was cast, not forged. If it was a forged crank, then all of this would have rounded edges because it would have been kind of hammered and pounded into submission, into shape, rather than being put in a mold and then machined afterwards. So these aren't quite as strong as a forged crank, but like I said, it's going to be gone anyways. And we've got all our pistons up here. Fun stuff. Who knows, maybe I'll weld up something cool and make out of it. And finally got that oil pickup tube out of there too. That was a bit of a pain. I didn't think it would be so hard to get out, but it gave me some troubles. And the cam sitting over here in the oil pan, that's also going to be scrap basically, because I'll be getting a bigger cam with much more lift, and I don't know about duration and cam specs just yet, but we'll see as we get a little further along in the build. So Thanks for watching. Definitely making progress. I figured I would give the body here a rest instead of playing with that tonight. Just futz around with the engine, which was pretty cool because this is as far as I've taken an engine down, and there's not a whole lot further that I can really go. Everything looks pretty clean so far from what I've just glanced at it. I can't tell a ton, but I'll get in there with a magnifying glass and take a look around and make sure that there's no hairline cracks or anything, but at first glance it looks in pretty good shape. Nice beefy block there to bore out and turn into a stroker. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more fun stuff. Later, guys.